My mom had an affair with my brother's wife. Yes, you heard that right. This is a 100% true story that I've been wanting to get off my chest for a while. My brother 25M met his wife 25F in his last year of pharmacy school. The two of them got engaged very soon after about 5 months of meeting. During the time that they were engaged, they would spend a lot of time together, but they were never allowed to be completely alone together until they were married. So this meant that she spent a lot of time at my house, where either me, my sister, or my mom would stay with them. So we all got pretty comfortable around each other, and this is where it started to get weird. My mom, 44F, would be a little too friendly with my sister-in-law. For example, if we were watching a movie, they would sit next to each other, then that would turn into leaning on one another, then into full-on cuddling. Another example is my mom and my brother's wife would be on FaceTime literally 24/7. I'm talking about waking up and falling asleep on the phone together. It got so bad that my brother would complain that he never could call his wife because she was always too busy talking to our mom. Eventually, me and my sister called my mom out on this, saying it was a little weird that she is always on the phone with her, and of course, she was very angry that we called her out on this, but she said they are just really close and that she would stop calling her as much, but that never happened. She just started to hide it, and they would spend hours on FaceTime without even saying a word. They would just have their AirPods in and listen to each other's background noises and text each when they wanted to say something. This went on for the entire engagement. Me and my sister would joke about the two of them being lovers, but we were always joking because we never would have thought it would get that far. So let's fast forward. A couple months of the weird behavior, I come home from work, and my mom, sister, and sister-in-law were in. My sister had also just got home maybe 10 minutes before me, and my mom and sister-in-law have been home alone with each other all day. I take a seat on the couch next to my sister, and she sends me a text. "Go look what's on Mom's bed, don't make it obvious." So I get up and start walking to my room and peek in very quickly when I pass my mom's room. At first, I didn't see anything, so I took another quick look, and that's when I saw a plastic strap-on sitting on the corner of my mom's bed. Me and my sister were in complete shock. We both know that they were the only two home all day and they were completely alone. Me and my sister go back and forth on what we should do. 2 days later, we tell our brother what we found. He was quick to believe us because he also saw all the red flags he called his wife and told him he knew what she did and that he wanted a divorce. She immediately called my mom, screaming and crying. I could hear my mom's phone from my room right before my mom ran out the house to her car. I don't know what happened after that. I just know my mom came home a couple hours later and was acting like nothing happened and things were normal for me and my sister for a while. After that, eventually my sister told her boss that my brother was going to leave his wife. He said something along the lines of, "Really? Now I can finally ask you why you have inappropriate videos of her on your laptop." It turns out that my sister asked him for help with one of her college assignments when he opened the Note app on the laptop and saw a 18-plus video of sister-in-law. So he closed the tab and pretended like he didn't see anything. But here's the thing, my sister was using my mom's old laptop to do her homework, but my mom's Apple ID was still connected, so all the notes from my mom's phone were sent to the laptop notes. So my sister had me pick her up from work early, and we raced home to check the laptop, and there it was, over a dozen pictures and videos of sister-in-law doing extremely inappropriate stuff, and literally thousands of text messages, most of which were nothing but just one that I can remember is, "I wish I would have met you first. I love you more than I love your son." So we sent all of this evidence to my brother, and he showed it to his wife, and she admitted to everything. After my brother confronted his wife, he stayed out all night until he had to go back to work the next day. I don't know where my brother would sleep in the days that followed because my brother was too nice to just kick her out of his apartment. But eventually he came to my house living under the same roof with his mom. He slept on the floor in my room for a while, and the two of them were almost never home together. And when there were, they just avoided each other. This was an extremely awkward situation for the entire family. Somehow his wife convinced him to go see a third party where all three of them would go and tell their side of the story. From what I understand, again, I wasn't there. The person who they went to talk to said that he has witnessed people come back from much worse things, but in private, after my mom and sister-in-law left, he told my brother that he didn't believe that the two of them were ever going to stop being sneaky, and he advised my brother to go through with the divorce. But that never happened. I guess the two of them gaslit him enough that he believed that he could forgive the two of them. This is his words. If God can forgive everyone, no matter what they did, I can forgive them for this, or something along the lines of that. So that brings us to present day. My brother moved back to live with his wife, and me and my sister still live with my mom. Next story. My boyfriend proposed to me with the expensive engagement ring he bought for his ex. Is it unreasonable to return it to him and insist that I don't want a ring meant for someone else? During our holiday a few days ago, I, 29AF, accepted my boyfriend's 35M proposal. He proposed with an expensive ring worth about $20,000 to $25,000 that he bought for his ex. It is seriously bothering me that the ring was meant for someone else. Is it unreasonable to return it, and how should I start this conversation with him? I've known about this $20,000 ring since when we first started dating, and he's been trying to sell it. I've even tried to help him sell it, but it has just remained unsold. Financially speaking, we're not broke. My boyfriend has a lavish lifestyle, but has recently taken a pay cut for a new role, and I am still in the beginnings of setting up my own business. So I get the financially smart approach that he wanted to reuse the ring, given the fact that he didn't get to use it to propose before. But when he pulled it out 2 days ago on our trip, I was surprised and upset. But he managed to convince me that it matters who the ring ends up with, not who it was brought for. When we booked the holiday and both paid our half each, I did not expect to be proposed to. I know that when he planned to propose to his ex, he booked a week-long 5-star resorts vacation at a tropical island. I only know this because early on in our relationship, he invited me to go on the week-long 5-star resorts vacation trip with him. I then found out that he had this ring, and he confirmed the trip was all a setup for him to propose to his ex, but because she broke up with him, I was second best. So adding to the recycled ring, I feel like he didn't put much effort to the proposal compared to when he planned to propose to his ex. I just feel like some other chick before me enjoyed him in his best times, and I'm getting the leftover scraps. The ring was not even the right size for me. It's literally loose on my finger. I'm thinking to talk to him about the ring and how it bothers me. I'm grateful he is thinking of me as someone who he wants to spend his life with and to be even proposed to with such an expensive ring. It's just that the fact that I have to wear it for a very long time until I pass away. It reminds me that there's another girl that's supposed to be this ring's owner. And now it made me feel like I am just his second option. I have accepted the ring and the proposal and don't know if it is unreasonable of me to give it back to him until he gets me my own ring in my size. What should I do to not feel this way? Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling her it's not her kid? My brother Adam and his wife Eve live with another woman, Lilith. Lilith is a mess. She's morbidly big and doesn't work because she's physically unable. Supposedly, she moved in with them because she was having some sort of mental issue living with her parents and never left. Adam and Eve both dote on her. She comes to every family event. The one time she wasn't invited, they were annoyed about it. Every few months, there's a new, "Oh, poor Lilith" thing, and everyone's supposed to be all sympathetic about it. 2 years ago, my sister and my other sister were going through the baby clothes my sister-in-law no longer needed. Lilith started crying for no reason, and Adam and Eve escorted her out and went and comforted her for like 2 hours. I was going to confront her then for ruining joyful events for my family that she's apparently decided to join. But my mother insisted we couldn't mention it because Lilith was going through a difficult time. When is she not? Because she'd been told a few weeks before that she was going to have a hysterectomy due to the big C, but it was just a false scare. Now Eve is pregnant, and they've decided that Lilith is going to co-parent as a second mother to the poor kid. Now Lilith claims the baby who isn't born yet takes after her. Like the baby is super squirmy on the ultrasounds and she fidgets all the time. That's it, literally everything they have because the baby is not born and has no relationship to Lilith at all. Adam and Eve just keep laughing about it. They even play along. I got to see that joke play out twice where Lilith said it and once where Adam did. Oh, the baby takes after Lilith, haha. They were all at my mother's house and different people kept coming by to congratulate them on the baby. The fourth time I heard it, I lost it. I said, "No, he doesn't take after you. He's not your kid and never will be." Lilith cried again. Eve took her out of the room and my brother ripped into me. Said it's just a joke that makes her feel better about never getting to be pregnant even though she really wanted to be. And he kept on about it. He says she is the kid's mother, even though, she literally isn't. and that if I can't accept that and treat her like a part of his family and his child's parent, then I won't be welcome to see my nephew ever. I said I didn't think he'd be willing to skip out on every family event over this waffle. He said he'd tell our family it was him and Eve with the baby and Lilith or me, and we'd see who was invited. My mother is basically obsessed with her grandchildren ever since my dad passed, and my brother has always been the golden firstborn son. She calls Lilith her bonus stepdaughter, which I'm pretty sure is a dig at me because I'm not married. So now I'm basically going to get kicked out of my own family if I don't apologize to Lilith and pretend she's totally my nephew's mother, even though she obviously definitely isn't. Am I the a-hole? Or is my brother way out of line?